water resources.
Okay, I am David Victoria, Lagos State Safety Commission.
Lagos State Safety Commission.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Engineer Olatunde Obidano, Office of Works, Ministry of Works and Infrastructure.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Engineer Olumide, Office of Works, Ministry of Works and Infrastructure.
My name is Engineer Oluwatoki Joshua, Office of Infrastructure.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Bakari Nasser Adebayo, Office of Infrastructure.
My name is Salis Gabriel, Minister of Transport.
Good morning.
My name is Dr. Emmanuel Adekunle, MWay Planners Limited.
Good morning. Oladimiji Oladotun, MWay Planners Limited.
Good morning, all. Rufus Ajay, TAA Limited.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Akred Bawa, LSDPC.
I'm Moses Ogunle, MWay Planners Limited. We are the consultant and the environmental impact assessment of the project.
Can I? Sir. Thank you very much. Although I was introduced, I think it's proper to set things in context. I may have been commissioner in Lagos State, but I am an urban planning consultant, and it is important to say that because you just had a team say their reportage, MEH, they are developers to LSDPC, the project proponents, and we are planning consultants to LSDPC. Reportage are the developers coming also with their team of consultants, just to set the record straight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And thank you to everyone that have introduced yourselves. Next on the agenda is...
I would like to introduce the Head of Department Environmental Assessment in person of Dr. Sojino Olasukomi to give us the welcome address. A round of applause as it comes.
Good morning. Let me start by especially recognizing the presence of one of our bosses, the former commissioner, former cabinet member, the Lagos State Executive Council. Sir, your presence is highly recognized, sir. Please, can we give him a round of applause for taking our time to be here? It's very rare to find top-level men attending this kind of a meeting. I feel highly honored to have you, sir. I think we should celebrate him one more time. And maybe we should say thank you to MWay Planners for bringing our guy. But we are here to do the things they taught us. Thank you very much for coming, sir. I also want to recognize the presence of representatives of our various MPAs that are here. Lamata, thank you for coming. Safety Commission, thank you for coming. Ministry of Works, Office of Infrastructure, Office of Works, we appreciate your presence. Safety Commission, thank you for coming. I'm not sure we have Fire and Rescue Service here yet, but if you are here, we recognize your presence. Residents of Eko Court, we appreciate your presence. All other stakeholders here present, thank you for coming. I don't know if Office of Drilling Services is here yet, but if they are here, we recognize your presence. Last Park, if you are here, thank you for coming. On behalf of the Honorable Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Mr. Tokunbo Wahab, and my immediate boss, the Permanent Secretary of Office of Environmental Services, Dr. Mobolagi Tajudeen Gaji, I would like to welcome you to this scoping workshop. The scoping workshop is part of the EIA process, and it is usually designed to ensure that while trying to carry out the EIA study, issues of concern to various stakeholders are captured ab initio at the very beginning and taken on board in the course of the EIA study. So we thought it very important to bring all stakeholders together when we receive the proposal for this project. And so I just want to welcome you formally to this session. My colleague, the head of EIA, will be talking more about the objectives of this meeting. Without taking much of your time, thank you very much, and you are welcome.
Thank you very much to the head of department, environmental assessment. So moving on, we would like to formally introduce the head of unit, environmental impact assessment, in person of Mr. Lasisi Adedoyin, to take us on the scoping workshop objectives briefly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. All protocol duly observed. I will just run through the objectives of the scoping exercise while we are here. The information we have is just what we received when the proponent made an application to the ministry. It may not be the real total of the information. So they will present the information they have. Like the project is still in conceptual stage, so the design and everything can change. So what we have is what was submitted to us initially, and basically that's why we're here. So it's a 30-story hotel development. Inside, beside a cohort is what each and every one of us will determine. So the project's size, it's 6,740 square meters, which they said would only develop 50% of it, in line with Etiosa Modern City Master Plan. During our site's verification, where we carry out the initial environmental evaluation, the site which the project is going to be developed has a total number of 108 trees. So which means over 108 trees will be cut down when this project is being developed. The amount of carbon sequestration that will occur, that's part of our first major concern. What are they going to do with those trees? Are those trees going to be transplanted, or are they going to plant another one? Last part is already here. So those are part of the justification why we want to have this scoping workshop. So this is the general environment, let's say 1-2 kilometer radius of the projects. For those of us who are not really familiar with a cohort has 3 20-story buildings already within, let's say, 20 meter, 50 meter, 100 meter, where this project is going to be situated. And it is residential. However, by classification, hotel is mixed use. So which means we are going to have a fully residential property introducing a mixed use component within it. So the environmental setting may likely change. The impacts of one or the other may likely affect each other. And that's why we want to talk about this scoping. So if we look at that environment, for those of us who are familiar with it, there are several facilities within 1 kilometer radius. Natija Conde House, Lagos Intercontinental, Muriokola Park is not far from there. NNPC Tower is not far from there. EcoBank. One other thing we decided to point out, if you are familiar with that road, Intercontinental Hotel normally hosts conferences and seminars. For you to have any conference and seminar on that road, Intercontinental don't have enough parking space. It's a problem if that place is having conferences. Now introducing a hotel of 30 floors, if that hotel also have a conference center within that hotel, imagine if the two are having conferences at the same time. And is there plan by Ministry of Works to expand that road? Those are also part of the concern for us why we said, okay, let's have this scoping workshop organized. So road network within that area, Amadou Bello Way, Ozumba Mbadi Way, Ofo Abayomi. So Lagos State is having the Green Line. The Green Line is passing through Ozumba Mbadi Way. And there is probability for readjustment of Ozumba Mbadi Way Road. If the apartment is going to be here, and this is where Eco Court is, there is probability that the apartment may have other access road apart from where the residents will use. Ministry of Transport. So if the design, would the design affect the design of Lamata in this present design? That's a part of our major concern. So while this project is being developed, we need to liaise with Lamata for the design of Lamata in conjunction with what? With the Green Line. That is also part of our major concern, why this scoping exercise is also very, very important. So this is the proposed site. This is the proposed site where the project is going to be. And this is the tree there. And all this tree will be out. The amount of carbon sequencing this tree has been serving for Lagos State, how are we going to capture that? How are we going to replicate that? There's going to be a demolition because in their initial design, they said that it's going to have 3 multi-level car park in the 30-floor design. 3 multi-level car park for a 30-floor building. By my own considerations, I'm not a town planner, but we need a justification to tell us that that 3 multi-level car park can take the 30-floor apartment. Apart from that, reticulation within the area, the ingress and the outgress of that car park is very, very important. So they now said they are going to have another multi-level car park within that environment, which means this building, they are going to demolish this building to accommodate the multi-level car park that is going to be incorporated in the design. So if you are demolishing this building, there's a resident building less than 100 meters away. So when you demolish, there will be dust, there will be particulate matter, there will be everything. Sound, noise, all those activities are part of the activity that is going to affect the environmental setting and residents. So let's look at what are the methodologies of those things. That's what we hope the scoping exercise we capture and look out for. Within the site, this is the drainage less than 5 meters within the site. Has there been discussion with Office of Drainage Services? Because if you look at the drainage master plan of Lagos State, there are requisite distance by which property should be away from drainage setting. As the design of the building capture this, because this is a major collector that takes rainwater, stormwater from Akin Adesola down into the Lagos Lagoon. This is the only one that takes stormwater within that catchment area into the Lagos Lagoon. So if the building is going to be there, an hotel is going to be there, if the Office of Drainage Services wants to do the cleaning, would they have easy access to do the cleaning? Let all those considerations comes into it now before we finalize the design of the hotel. And that's one of the things why this scoping exercise is very, very important. So our activities today, after listening to the proponents and the consultants about the design, about the activities of each of the hotel, so what we, all the stakeholders here, the regulatory stakeholders, and some of the residents who are joining online, is to see clearly, look at, identify key environmental and social issues that the construction of the projects and the use of the project will have on the immediate environment. And all of us consider now and say, okay, these are the likely environmental activities that this project may have in the future, during construction and during usage, and determine the likely receptors that may be affected. The land, the air, the water, noise, vegetation, if it's going to affect the marine or the coastal ecosystem, we will all determine that. If you look at the picture we showed earlier, one of the major things is that we know that the vegetation is going to be what? Affected, because over 107 trees will be cut down. So, which means that is one receptor that is going to the activities of the project from the proponent, will be able to know all other environmental receptors that may be affected. Also, social. Developing a 30-story building will take a minimum of 18 months. I'm not an engineer, but we know the China constructed 30 building in less than 1 week. But if it's going to be for 18 months, workers will be coming into that premises. And I've seen workers who do anything in Lekki and Ikoyi, they'll just be parking openly outside. And there's a 20-story building where residents, where children are. So if we don't have a camping bay for the workers, or we don't plan for, imagine a 30-story building, the minimum workers that will work in that place will be over 100. That may have social clash with the residents of the place. These are like, these are social issues. So I like social and economic receptor, local communities, traffic system, public infrastructure, and urban services. So after that, we need to prioritize which of these components should the environmental consultant focus on during the environmental baseline data gathering. Now also we need to establish the spatial boundary for how far should the consultant carry out his baseline data gathering. Should it be 1 kilometer radius? Should it be 2 kilometer radius? Based on what each and all regulators here agreed on. So identify key baseline parameters to be measured. Air quality. Yeah, we know air quality is very, very important. PM 2.5 is something that is on the rise. Air quality in Lagos State concerning PM 2.5, it's something everybody has been talking about. So construction activity contributes to PM 2.5. How would the activity of this project contribute to it? So we want to know the baseline 2.5 or other parameters. So here, based on their design or based on their construction parameter, they were able to tell us which method they will be using, so that we'll be able to know other air quality parameters to include in what the consultants will deal with. Noise and vibration. Piling, for you to do 30-story building, you will need serious piling. We know the depth the pile will go. And if you are doing piling and the residential building is less than 200 meters away from there, we know what that will be. So let's also consider that. Groundwater and surface water quality, we don't know if there's any borehole there because there's a park. So what are the likely soil characteristics and stability? Biodiversity, I've already talked about that. Land use. So after that, we identify the potential environmental impact and see which one should the consultant focus on. Determine the socioeconomics and health implication. So if, for what we have seen in most of the sites, you see the workers defecating openly. There's a canal there. There's a probability of, if they don't have adequate toilets during construction activity, some of these workers defecate openly in the canal. If they do that, there could be a serious health crisis. These are things we really want the consultant to look out into. So we have been able to identify the stakeholders. The methodology the consultant will use, they need to tell us. They need to tell us the methodology by which they will carry out the study, so that we can also all review it. After that, after getting from what the stakeholders has agreed, we will not develop the terms of reference which the ministry will give to the consultant. The terms of reference the ministry will give to the consultant is what the consultant will use to develop what we talk about, the environmental baseline characteristics, and then carry out the field study and submit the report. After submitting the report, we now call everybody again to come and assess the report if it really meets the terms of reference before the ministry give approval to it. Basically, that's why we are here today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much for the nice presentation. So the next on our list is the brief about the project. I'd like to welcome the government to give the brief. You'll be having just 25 minutes to do that.
Good morning again. All course is duly extended. That particular aspect will be in three levels. The first will be made by LSDPC as the proponent. The second by the designer team, by the architect. Then the third will be made by the team that is working on the environmental impact assessment. Let me invite LSDPC to start with its presentation, or their presentation. Actually, all right.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Mr. Lasisi, you've done a very good job. I'm here to alleviate some of the fears. The land in question is about 6,742 square meters. It's right behind the whole court. It's not inside. And the property in question is going to be condoned off totally for the residents of the in your presentation, in your presentation, you made mention of the fact that the block is going to be demolished. No block is going to be demolished. And I can assure you that as LSDPC, we've been in this business for ages. We won't do anything short. The concern about the construction methodology, of course, a 30-story structure is not going to be handled by anyhow. So, and those are preliminary items. Where are they going to vegetate? Where are they going to stay? And so on and so forth. When we get to that stage, we surely cross it. Be rest assured that most of these concerns are taken care of. We have the architect of record, that's architect Aneto, who is the Nigerian representative for those for the reporter. Because it's a JV partnership project. They come with their consultants, they come with the design, we'll be vetting the design, and upon when we are agreed with sharing the modality, then everything will happen. Reporter, maybe you can now. Thank you.
So, kindly put my closer while we can present. While we set up that, I would like to also inform the participant that we are also live on YouTube. While we are setting up, there are a few things we need to know that this workshop is just to point out a few things before you start your environmental impact assessment, and also have like a map in guiding your research.
Okay, good morning. My name is Architect Dubai. Take me just briefly about the project. The project is a they say 30, but it's almost 27. Plus, of course, if you add the other heights for the other part, so we'll make it about 29. The project is a hotel apartment. It's not a purely hotel. It's a hotel apartment concept. And we are going to have what we've considered in terms of the regulations for the project to try and meet all the requirements with regards to the setback. We've observed all the setbacks of more than 9 meters from all the sides of the road. We've also, so this is just the general overview of the project. This is a very conceptual level of the project. The project has on the ground floor has a commercial, and then on the 3 levels, 1, 2, 3 levels, we have parking. In terms of parking requirement, we provided, being a hotel apartment, it's a parking ratio of 1:1 for 3 units. We have provided 1 parking. So, and we have an extra of 26 parking into the project. The total number of units that we have. So this is the back side of the project. This is still the back side of the project. This is the front side of the project. And basically that's the character of the project. We also have on the podium level, we have a swimming pool to take care of the leisure part of it. We also have the hotel area, which is taking care of this other part. And so that is the part that shows the infinity swimming pool that we have on that floor. Then the rest is then we have a child play area on this other side. Then the rest is units. We have 2 accesses to the project, accessing through Ozumba from this other entrance, and then from this part, this area, and then after that you proceed to. Then you have you drive all this way. You have a bit of surface parking, and then you go to the other side where you have the exit and also going to the ramp. In terms of I've seen the comments that have been raised there. We are not going to demolish the other structure. If you realize the area that we have focused on is only the area on the corner part. The other part has not been touched. So, and the other matters that has been being handled by the environment team can easily explain on the consideration that we are working on. So I think that is a very brief explanation of the project. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the beautiful presentation.
Good morning all. On the environmental assessment sector of this project, we have developed a few slides, and I think there will be further clarification on some of the issues that were raised, especially concerning the demolition that was mentioned, and also the proper seating, the proper footing of the project area. So the content of this presentation will include all this. Let me not waste time and move on. So, okay, so the project is one of such intervention by agency of the state government, the LSDPC. We have already been briefed of that. 30-floor hotel apartment. We call it in Nigeria's local short-let apartment. Hey, we put it in bracket there, short-let apartment. The project site, there are 2 parcels. We have parcel A, parcel B. The project, this one that is on the screen here is parcel A. the part B has, I think, let me just quickly go through the description before we delve into the project area. The location, the project division where it is located, it has been said, it is quite distinct from a court. Access, the boundary of the project area has no, well, though it shares boundary with a court, but it is very, very distinct. So this is the survey plan. The bigger parcel there is addressed as Area A, but I call it Parcel A. And there is the smaller one by the left, as you see it on the screen, which is quite rectangular, that is Parcel B. The total of them is 6,000 plus square meters. And this is the location within the Victoria Island district. For those of us that are familiar with the corridor, the site is abutting. The site is abutting Ozumba Mbadiwe Avenue, and it also has a boundary with one of the road connecting Ozumba Mbadiwe Avenue to Akin Adeshola Street. A more detailed picture will be seen in the next slide, and this is how the project sits. The bigger one is the Parcel A. Unlike the presentation made by the ministry, well, I think the information we gave them at that point was wrong. Panage building will not be affected in the proposed development. This is the Panage, I hope I've got the pronunciation right. This is the Panage building. There's nothing, it's not going to be touched. The part that is the second part of the development, which is the Parcel B, is this 1,000 square meters land. And as you can see from the satellite imagery, it is currently vacant. So it will be a part of the development, Parcel A, Parcel B. And this is the entrance, yes, presently from Eco Court, area. But as has been said, it will not be utilized. There is no traffic coming to this project at the construction or at the operation phase that will pass through the Eco Court premises. They have their own distinct access. So, environmental setting, Fakari Creek is there. In fact, it is less than 100 meters from the edge of the property to Fakari Creek. The Lagos Lagoon is close by. The Atlantic Ocean is at the southern part. There are network of primary draining canals in and around the site. We have been shown that Muri-Okola Park is a natural recreational leisure facility. The plot is very close to it. There are also parcels of vacant land with significant vegetal coverage close to the site. Okay. Also, Mr. Lasisi also mentioned some of the buildings that exist and their number of floors. The Eco Court complex shares boundary with the facility. Lagos Continental Hotel, 27th floor hotel facility, is also close by. There are other commercial developments. We have the Eco Bank headquarters and the 23rd floor civic towers. These are all within 600 meters radius of the project site. So that is the site. The Fakari Creek, you can see up there. The Muri-Okola Park is the one in faded green. And we can see the network of roads around. The cable car project, oh, apologies, the notation has moved. This vacant plot is for the Lagos cable car project, so the site is equally vacant. And here, we have an open field, and that one belongs to the National Engineering Center. So if you pass through that corridor, you will observe a lot of greens in and around that project site. So this is a cookbook just showing the 3 towers there. Okay, I think I should move away from this, but one equally important information you should know in accordance to the Victoria Island Model City Plan, which is still operational as of today, will expire in 2033. That particular plot, and remember I said it's above Ozumba Mbadiwe Avenue, is classified as a mixed-use corridor 1, and you can have as many as 100 floors, yes, on that stretch of road. So the proposed Lagos apartment hotel is a permissible use. Combination of commercial, residential, or institutional facility is allowed to be developed on that particular plot of land. So Continental Hotel is within the immediate vicinity of the project. So, okay, let me now dovetail a bit to Parcel A of the project site. The site is undeveloped. It has been shown, this has been shown to us, and has significant vegetal cover of trees and shrubs. Mr. Lasisi has mentioned that there are 108 trees. They are shrubs, and their height between 15 and 20 meters high. There is a canal alignment in the southern axis running parallel to the perimeter of the sector. This equally has been mentioned. The canal is 1.5 meters width and 1.5 meters deep. The canal is covered. Though the picture we were shown, it looks open, you know, maybe for maintenance purposes, a part of it is open, but the majority of its alignment is covered. The total length of the canal within the parcel, and I mean parcel A, the bigger of those two parcels, is 160 meters. So apart, if we can think back to the photo of the site that was shown, we can see disused motor vehicles, indicators, and other components that is currently on the site. The outer perimeter of the site along the road inwards Adesola Street also have some streets, road, how do they call it? There are trees along the road setback. Well, it adds to the beauty of that entire sector. So this is the picture of the site, and I think we've got a better picture than the one shown by Mr. Lasisi. So those are the trees, and some of the disused vehicles, and the white building there is the gatehouse that is currently on that side. And this is the canal that runs at the center boundary. It is not in the inner or in the mid-center sector of the site. It is very close to the southern boundary. And I think the designer has equally made provision for its incorporation into the project entirely. So the parcel B is the smaller parcel. It's 1,053 square meters. The site is bare and utilized for paid parking. Some paid parking, not heavy, and some other is informal sector activities. You see sellers of all sorts, food vendors, and some, can I say, nefarious activities, those selling all kinds of illicit drugs are there. It is bounded by the canal and originating from Adeola or Depu Road access and discharging into the Falkari Creek. The next slide to this will show the picture of what we are seeing. The canal at this sector is 4.5 meters wide and 5 meters deep. So this is the representation of what we have said. Within, it has shifted. I'm sorry about this. The representation of the yellow line, which signifies the canal, it has shifted. This smaller one ought to be within here. You can see how it's starting from here. So it runs like this. And this is the bigger one that goes right to the Falkari Creek. So that the two major drainage facilities within the project area. So they are designed, the architect, they have talked, yes, about the design, but I think you just mentioned 1 or 2 points. This is the site plan of the design. The building, the main building is positioned in part 2A, and these are the footprints of it. There are also a minor, we call it auxiliary for now, until it is appropriately denoted by the architect at the part 2B. The green area here is supposed to accommodate the drainage facility, the drainage canal. And this green will be left open, it's for landscaping and to accommodate that drainage facility it serves two purposes. The canal will pass as well as fulfill the requirement of landscape requirement by Lagos State Physical Planning Authority. These are the designs as of now. It may likely still change because there will be comments, there will be additions, there will be subtractions. So the ground floor is like this. What we have on the ground floor, we have shops, we have the entrance area really. We have like how many number of shops there? I can see 9. The outer areas of the building, we have parking areas. Towards the left side, we have facilities, power generator room, and some other utilities at the sector. The first to third floor, which are equally devoted to parking. And each of the floor has 82 parking spaces. So 82 times 3 for the 3 floors. And if you add that to the one we have for the ground floor, that is quite a substantial number of parking provided in the development. And I think from our initial assessment, the parking provision has met the requirement of Lagos State planning permit approval. So the 4th floor, the general floor, so to say, we have restaurants, we have lounges, we have meeting room, we have office space allocated on the floor. For the auxiliary building, so to say, the ground floor is equally devoted to parking, while the upper floors, they have just few. I think on each floor there are 4 units of apartment, studio apartment and 1 bedroom apartment. So utility and services provided. There is waste treatment plant already shown on the plan. We have power generator rooms, transformer stations as well, 2 number. The driveway is there. The parking has been shown. Security gatehouse, 2 number. Refuse depot. These are all important for this type of development. So the summary of what you have within the 2930 floor building, they are this. I think I should not go over them. It is clear enough. So in total, what you have, as the town planners will normally say, or want it to be clearly defined, this is the summary of development. The building coverage is 48%. The total number of hotel units, apartment units, I'll be corrected to say that we have 605. I don't mind that we put the clause there. It's an error, please. You should overlook that. The number of parking as at now is 316. So the units, the number of apartments as per their category is equally highlighted. Studio units we have 184 and all that. So I think I need to rush so that I do not take so much of the time. This is equally presenting summary of the development. We have commercial areas and we have recreational areas as well as the residential area. The access, and I think this is a critical one that I should equally emphasize a bit. There are 2 entrance gates into the development. These are positioned in the north on Otumba Mbadiwe Avenue, on the east, on the inwards into Akin Adeshola Street. The the two entrances serve as entry and exit point. So this is the accessibility to the development. This is just to confirm that the access to this facility has no connection with Eco Court at all. So this is, either of them can serve as entry, equally serve as exit. So building and civil works, definitely these are the stages this project will pass through. The construction, what we are doing here is equally part of what will be done. Procurement of permits and approvals, EIA clearance inclusive, that will be done. Then to the operation, lodging, residency, and all that. So to our particular task as the consultant on EIA for this project, this is the specific objectives of the EIA study, which will be done. We have a list of 2 of them. We have 12 specific objectives on the study. I think we should just skip this aspect. We know what to do, and this will be confirmed by the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources as well. We will work in line with what they are. The scope will describe the location, will describe the project. Environmental baseline studies will be undertaken. Impact and education, quantification and prediction will be made. Social, economic, and health impact assessment will be done. Mitigation, impact controls will be provided. Environmental plan, then will prepare the report. So, environmental baseline study. These are data collections. We focus on this: climatic elements, ecology, air quality, noise, geology, surface and underground water. For socio-economic, the socio-economic environment, social infrastructure, physical infrastructure, utilities and services, not the ones provided in the development, but the ones that exist within the environment. Transportation studies will be done. Heritage, cultural, historical elements, risk management, all this will be assessed. Sample design. In line with its project scope of work, and as from our recent projects with the State Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, a one-season feed data gathering will be carried out. And if we begin early enough, we will still meet the current wet season. But if perhaps it be delayed a bit, then to go over to the dry season sampling that will be done. All the processes itemized there are our regular and statutory design for any consultant on EIA. Sampling stations will be established. We are proposed 2 kilometer radius, but I've seen the presentation by the Ministry of Environment. Maybe they want us even to come lower to 1 kilometer radius. It will favor us more, because even by that 1 kilometer, every parameter will have been covered. The water, yes, especially the surface water will have been covered. So we have a list of parameters to look out for in each of the environmental components. There are many, but a simple analysis on our machines would get us some of these things. Air quality and noise, groundwater quality, vegetation and wildlife. You can see that the parameters to be studied are quite many, but as I said, it can be handled quite effectively. Socio-economic environment, information on health and well-being, literacy and education, standard of living, poverty, all these ones will be undertaken under the social assessment. Laboratory analysis. We have a Federal Ministry of Environment accredited laboratory we use. We don't have one of our own. We are only licensed to provide EIA studies. The laboratory arm, analysis arm, we sublet out to SAG Chemical Nigeria Limited, and they will take that and they will obey all the processes and procedures that are acceptable for the industry. Assessment of impact. Definitely 2 phases are being envisaged. We have the construction, we have the operation stage. Some of the principal elements of construction to be assessed. Site clearance, the tree that has been mentioned, we will see the impact. Topsoil stripping and networks, stockpile and material storage areas. These are all phases of the construction phase that we'll look into and see that they are operating at acceptable standards. Hydrology and pollution, that also will be taken. Construction of building, works on landscape areas, temporary audits, or security fencing. You know, most of our building sites, when they board up their construction sites, some are quite appealing, some look disgusting. So all these things will be studied. For the operational phase, these are things we will look out for. But one critical one in this is one of the, it's not listed here, is the shadowing effect of this high-rise building, especially on the pool court. Because 30 floors, and while you have 20 floors behind, it will block, it will alter airflow, it will alter sunshade and sunlight, and feasibility, yes. So we see how we can quantify and present this in the report. So all this will be done. Social economic surveys, these are the methodology we use. Key stakeholders, there are many, both in the private sector and especially in government, ministry, departments and agencies. We have a lot of them that will consult for this project. So the schedule, what you have done so far, up to this stage, you have successfully undertaken 2 activities. The review, we have submitted our terms of reference on behalf of the project proponent. The site verification exercise has been done. That's why in the remarks we have stated concluded. The scoping exercise, this is where we are here now. And then for the 5 other ones, not yet undertaken. So when we are given the go-ahead by the ministry to proceed, when they have approved the terms of reference, we proceed to the site to get that, to set out of this other ones. I think that's the end. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, sir. That's lovely presentation. And I know that every other participant have been informed in details about the project in terms of the environmental aspects. I would like to also employ each and everyone to visit our YouTube channel, which is Environmental Assessment Department, Ministry of Environment, Lagos. I'll take it again. Environmental Assessment Department, Ministry of Environment, Lagos. For our IG handle, which is our Instagram handle, that is EAOES_Lagos. EAOES_Lagos. Likewise, that's for our Twitter handle, which is also EAOES_Lagos. While he was presenting, would like to recognize the presence of the representative from the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service. I really kindly see you.
Good morning.
Right, thank you very much. So moving on with the agenda of today, we are moving on to the scoping workshop, which is going to be led by the head of department, environmental assessment, in person of Dr. Sojino Olasukami. Kindly give me a round of applause as
Okay, thank you once again. I also need to recognize the presence of some engineers from Victoria Island that came in some few minutes ago. We want to thank you for coming. We appreciate your presence. Wherever you are, may you just please wave, let people know you are. Thank you so much. Thank you for the interest you have in this project and for making time to be here. Okay, I think we should give MEO planners another round of applause for the presentation. I'm sure MEO planners will say this department, we are always on their case, but that is not the situation. We always want to make sure that we do the right things. I'm sure we've all listened to the presentation, Abby, and I'm sure that there are comments, questions that are already agitating our minds. Now, because of our time, what we have decided to do is that we're going to allow everyone that have indicated that they're going to be having comments and questions to make their comments. We have a team of secretariat that will be taking down those comments and those questions. And we are employing us to please, let's be as orderly as possible. I'm sure numbers have been passed around, and for those who have indicated interest, you probably have picked the numbers. Now, I'm going to be working alongside with my colleague now, Mr. Lasisi. He's going to be coordinating this session, and I'm going to be here to see how everything goes so that we can have a robust discussion. Once again, thank you for your patience, and I think we should celebrate ourselves for being patient this far.
Thank you very much, sir. So we are going to do it this way. We have our numbers, and I'll call from 1 to. So if you are 1, so now I'm just going to give everybody opportunity to speak, and you can't speak more than 3 minutes. And you can only speak once. The proponents, LSDPC, anybody involved in the design of the project and everything cannot speak because you are not a stakeholder. It is the regulatory stakeholder, so you are just here as observer. So and we don't expect you to say, okay, you want to respond. No, this is not. It's not a time for response. So that's what we are going to do. So we will do it this way. During the design, now it's at a conceptual stage. So if you have any issue with any of the concepts, any adjustments, anything, help us bring the issue out. Let's note it and make it as recommendation to them. That's one. During pre-construction, there will be some activities, pre-construction, they want to do soil tests, they want to do all those things. They want to remove trees. If you have any issues, let us know, okay, pre-construction activity, I have an issue with that. I want this to be what? To be captured. I want this to be this. During construction activities, hello, sir? Hello, please, can you come there? We have seats here, please. Come to the front, please. Okay. So, during construction activity, these are the likely activities that we expect. We have a regulatory function towards it. Like, I'll give one of the issues that most proponents normally say they have with Lagos State government. I'll give an example, material testing. There's a law in the state that says any materials you are using for construction must be tested and certified by one of our agencies. And you purchase the material, you dump it at site, but you did not take it to material testing. They don't have any record that that site has been cleared. And they are going on routine monitoring, and they see your site. And you don't say they should not come to your site. They will come to your site. Because the law says any materials you want to use must be what? Tested and certified by them. So, if you have a vendor, the best thing you want your vendor to do